Hi YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. As promised, I told you guys that I wanted to get back to the original design for my channel, which was for motivational purposes. I feel as though that in life we go through things, and it's so important to share those things because you never know who is going through the same thing that you're going through. And they may be feeling as though they can't make it, life is over, secluded, or feel like giving up. And there may be one thing that you can say to encourage them, to let them know that you made it through so they can make it through too. So that is always my purpose, is to help someone. And so today I want to talk about hurt. Hurt can come in a lot of different forms, a lot of different ways. Hurt can come through parent-child relationship. It can come through sibling relationship. It can come through job-employee relationship. It can come through friendships. It can come in many, many forms. But the hurt that I want to talk about is hurt in relationships, whether it be girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife. Those relationships where you find yourself in a position that you've been hurt and trust has been damaged, and you're trying to figure out what to do, how to do, when to do. One thing I can tell you is that in those times, you're going to find your emotions on a natural roller coaster. It will be worse than Thunder Road at Carowinds. You'll be up 1 minute, down the next. Up 1 minute and drop real fast the next minute. Out of the blue, you can be just feeling good and happy, and all of a sudden you're down in gloom and feeling low. It's at those times it's very, very important that you connect to God. Have an accountability partner. This is someone that loves you to life. A lot of times we have friends that they're supposed to be our best friends, but they support us in wrongdoing. And I often ask the question, how is that a friend? How would a friend love you to hell if the action that you're doing will cause you to go, not live the life that's pleasing to God? How is that loving you? I would rather have a friend that could be very honest with me and say, no, sis, you can't do that. No, that's wrong. You might feel like you want to do that, but you can't do that for various reasons, and then speak truth. Because what you need is truth. What's going to bring you through is truth. And so when you are hurting, no matter what the hurt is coming from, it's very, very important to have an accountability friend, partner that will speak life into what appears to be your dead situation. What I find is a lot of times in my life, when I'm going through, a lot of times you got to watch who you talk to and who you share your business with. Because what you don't want is to get worldly advice. A lot of times in our Christian walk, the way we're supposed to respond to things is totally opposite of what the world believes. And maybe even your parents taught you. I know for me, my mom always said, if somebody hits you, hit them back. But that's not what God says or expects. You know what I mean? So there's a line there. What I'm trying to say is, be careful how and who and when you talk when you're going through hurt. Hurt can take you up out of here if you allow it to. Emotions can take you up out of here if you allow it to. You have to speak life. And when you can't speak life to that dead situation, you have to have somebody else that can speak life for you. You need a prayer partner. You need someone that you can call and just be your raw self and be like, I can't take it. I don't want to take it. Just be genuine about your feelings. I'm hurting. And be able to express that. I have experienced hurt in a lot of ways. I'm actually going through something right now as we speak on this day, which is April 14th. And the hurt at times can feel unbearable. And I'm very limited to who I talk to while I'm going through this season. But I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know when it's going to work. I don't know what to do, but I do know who knows. And so my trust is always in God. Now, let me tell you something. My trust may be in God, but my emotions, they don't seem to line up with God a lot. My emotions is, if you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you back. That's what my emotions will say. My emotions will say, I'm done, when God is saying stand still. So you got to be very careful with emotions. You literally have to die to emotions when you're going through hurt. You have to give yourself time to heal. You have to heal. If you don't heal, you're going to be walking around wounded. And a wounded person is still hurt. And hurt people hurt others, whether they mean to do it intentionally or whether it just happens. So when you're hurt, I don't care what kind of hurt it is, it's very important to talk. You have to talk about what you're feeling. You just can't talk to anybody. Secondly, well, I would say, first of all, you got to take it to God. You got to take it to God and give it to him. Now, that's hard for me, guys. I'm just going to tell you the honest truth. I don't have a problem taking it to God. I have a problem giving it to him and leaving it there. For some reason, I always want to try to fix it myself, or I always want to try to talk it out. And what I found myself doing is trying to talk somebody else into doing what I believe is right. And that is acting like you're a God almost. You're trying to change someone. You have to let people be who they are and accept them for who they are, where they are in their life. And you have to trust God to be the person to change that person if that person changes. Sometimes people don't change. But when you're dealing with hurt, you can only heal within yourself. You can only handle hurt within yourself. Be willing to allow yourself time to heal. Don't take hurt. For an example, don't get in a relationship. Something happens in the relationship. You get hurt. And next week, 2 days later, you're with someone else. You haven't had time to heal. So now you are a wounded, hurt person in a relationship with another person, and you're not even healthy and whole for that person. So that's not fair to even the other person. Give yourself time to heal. Give yourself time to experience what you're experiencing, learn from the experience, grow from the experience, and then move forward. Another point, in fact, I want to make sure you know that when you're going through hurt, don't seclude yourself. Don't pull away from everybody and everything and just sit off to yourself and be by yourself. It's so easy to do. For me, the hurt that I experienced, it was embarrassing to me. And I didn't want people to know what I was going through. So I would just stay off to myself because I was emotional. I'm very emotional. I'm an emotional person. And I cry, when I'm hurt. And I didn't want people to see me in that state. So what I'm saying to you is always, always, always be willing to deal with your hurt. Don't run from it. Don't act like you're not hurt when you know you are hurt. Don't be so caught up in the world and what people think about you and anything negative that somebody may say to you. You have to heal for you. Take time for you. It's not easy. It's not easy when things that happen to you hurt you. And right now, again, I'm talking about in a relationship. Man, woman, however the relationship is, but intimate relationships is what I'm speaking of. Hurt is hurt. Hurt messes up the foundation of a relationship. If you don't have a steady, stern, firm foundation, your relationship is going to be rocky. It's going to rock to and fro because the ground, the foundation that is built on or standing on is not solid. So you have to deal with hurt. I believe a lot of things happen in relationships because people move too fast to another relationship. And all they're doing is distracting themselves, keeping themselves from feeling the hurt. So they move on to something that makes them feel good. But they're still hurting on the inside. They're just camouflaging it. They're just distracted. But when they get home at night, whenever they're by themselves, I'm pretty sure that hurt resurfaces and they realize I'm still hurting. Now, what you've done is just basically you are now hurting someone else. So don't do that. Deal with your hurt. Take it to God. You have to cast it. You have to leave it there. I know that's hard. It's certainly hard for me. But it's something that I'm walking in right now as we speak. And in the days to come, I'm going to share more detail about the hurt. But right now, I just want to kind of deal with the surface word hurt and just share that with you. God can do anything but fail. He can heal a broken heart. He can mend broken relationships if he chooses to. He can change anything. He can turn it around. And what I find is he specializes in things that don't make sense. So if your hurt is coming from a person who people expect to hurt someone or who is always hurting someone, that is the opportune time for God to turn that person around to become a person that never hurts anyone. Then people are going to wonder what happened to him or her. They used to be this and they used to be that. Then God gets the glory because you get to tell them, God changed me. I'm no longer that person. I no longer do those things that I used to do, that everybody knows I used to do. I'm now changed. And that's when God gets the glory. And that's when the testimony can come forth. And when people see, they believe because they know they knew this person when this person was this way. But when they see the person in a different light, which is a better light, a loving light, a godly light, then they can say, oh, God had to do that because I knew that person when. And that's how he gets the glory. God specializes in things that just don't make sense to people. A lot of people believe, and everybody has their opinions about how things should work in the world. But a lot of times people believe it's better to leave in certain situations and relationships. And now I'm talking about particularly marriages. But if God was to tell you to stay, or God was to tell you to stand still, could you? It's hard. You have to be willing to do what is required of you, and you trust God for the rest. I hope this is making sense to someone. I just wanted to put a little gold nugget out there for anyone that may be hurting. Then never give up. Life is not over. Be determined to survive. Be determined to heal. Be determined to move forward. Be determined to get up out of that situation so that you can see the greater that is ahead of you. Okay? Stay encouraged. And until the next video, guys, be blessed. Hey, guys. I would be remiss if I did not come back and at least add this into the video. Now, when I say stay in certain relationships, I'm not telling anyone to stay, especially if you're experiencing domestic violence, physical abuse, any type of abuse. I'm not speaking of those type of things. I'm speaking of hurt from other places besides that. I have to express that because I don't want anybody to think that they should stay in an abusive situation. Been there, done that too. We'll share that in upcoming videos as well. So till next time, guys, be blessed.